the World Health Organization, or WHO as they're more commonly known, have recently coined a disorder which they call gaming disorder, and they define it as like being characterized by impaired control of your gaming, increasing priority given to gaming over other activities to the extent that game takes precedence over other interests and daily activities, and continuation or escalation of gaming despite the occurrence of negative consequences. Um, someone can say this is pretty stupid just by looking at it immediately. It is because, and it's like, why does it need to single out gaming? It's like it's an addiction, right? Okay, that's wrong. Yeah, it doesn't need to be specified as a gaming disorder. It's an addiction. It's like having addiction to chocolate. You don't they don't need to. It's so if they're going with this making a game disorder, I want to see this. I want to see the World Health Organization make a disorder for every other hobby that's possible, because that's the only way it can be fair. Because if there's so like say if I collect stamps, right? And that takes over less takes precedence over other interests and daily activities, then that must be a disorder, stamp collecting disorder. But no, that's not a thing. So why do you need to single out hobbies such as gaming? Let's watch this video.
I'm coming for your heart. This time it's anything goes. I guess I'm just a selfish ghost.
So this is coming directly from their YouTube channel, the World Health Organization YouTube channel.
Gaming disorder is a
Let's listen
particular
to this bloke.
pattern of gaming behavior,
Sounds
be
like
it
every NHS doctor
offline
ever.
or online gaming behavior, and we are talking here about digital or video gaming.
Oh, I wonder what you're on about, mate.
When this pattern has some very specific characteristics. One of them is impaired control over gaming. The second one is that the gaming behavior takes precedence over other
this
daily
could be applied to
activities
literally
and
any
interests of the
hobby
person,
whatsoever, so
to
why
the
don't they
extent
single out this?
that
See, this issue I have with is the fact that it's because it's new, and okay, a lot of the people, I think, like born post 2000, are pretty much what they're blaming this for and putting this on. It's because most people in power and who have jobs at this company um don't understand. They were born without it, and it's kind of like this. Well, like they shouldn't have it. It's taking over their lives. Or like old people, like these pesky iPhones, like for any reason, for, like they cause every problem in the world. And it's like they just need to jump on that. They don't understand it. Not afraid of it. I think it's they're jealous partly because it's like they never had this, and it's like, oh shit. It's just it's just singling out because they hear all this stuff on the news that just simply isn't true, and it's a ring of issues because the media exaggerates this shit, and then parents see it, and then they exaggerate that shit. It's a vicious cycle going round and round until even people at World Health Organization gotta acknowledge its existence, right? Okay, if you play gaming for like hours and hours, okay, that poses a negative impact to your life and your health. Okay, that's obvious, but that's the same with anything. Again, going back to the stamp stamp collecting example. If you've done that for hours and hours, that's probably not good for you. Okay, so why do you need to single out this? You could just put this under a broader term of addiction. Like, also, no one is ever gonna get fucking like diagnosed with this bullshit because no one like right, the NHS in England, right? The National Health Service, they're never gonna fucking diagnose you with this bullshit. Then you're not getting benefits or anything for this. It's just not gonna happen. It's literally pointless. It's pointless and it's just targeting. It should be addiction, not gaming disorder. An addiction to anything is bad. Like too much of anything is bad for you, right? But it's just because it's gaming, it's considered bad, and it's 100% why this exists. Um, does my head in.
it results in impaired functioning or distress.
How the fuck does it
what
cause
is
distress?
important that this behavior continues in spite of these negative consequences. But it's really a very small proportion of people who
Right, so these kids have got a gaming disorder because they're playing fucking Mario Kart. Shit, what is a society, man? They're gonna fucking die. Oh, they must. Oh, I bet they're in distress
are
right now.
involved in gaming
Love how they
behavior.
blur out the screen. It's literally just Mario Kart. Like, why? Does that even matter? Like, okay, and if you say they haven't blurred out they blurred out the usernames, they blurred out half the fucking screen for Christ's sake. What are they doing? They clearly just don't understand.
behavior. And it's critical to emphasize that gaming disorder is not equivalent to gaming behavior. It's very different things.
Right, right. I understand what he's saying here. Like, okay, if you play gaming a bit, it's not a disorder, but it's like you're just doing that to defend yourself. Like, it's like, okay, we don't want to start on everyone who games, but we still want to, because a lot of people do game for extended hours. I play games for quite a few hours a day, and I'm pretty sure I would fall into this disorder. But it's just an addiction, isn't it? It's not, it's not a fucking disorder. It's an addiction. It's like an addiction to anything, as I've been saying. But I could see what he's saying that if you game a bit, it's fine. But it's just ridiculous. Oh, this is gonna be fucking great.
When the behavior is becoming
Right. So you're telling me this is what really does my head in about this is say if you have an interest, right, and it's really passionate to you. Okay, I, like clearly you're gonna put more time and effort into it and just do it more. You're not gonna do something you find less interesting. You're gonna do the thing you find the most interesting or most enjoying. If that's gaming, that's what you're going to do. Okay, it's going to become dominating over your life, but who says that? Okay, stamp collecting can't take over your life. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like, why do you, again, I'm just repeating myself and reiterating this bullshit, but why does it need to be gaming disorder? It's just an addiction to a hobby. You can apply that to any hobby possible. All this is interchangeable. You could, plugging anything where gaming is right now. It's any hobby. It's ridiculous, and it's like if something does take over your life like that, you kind of that could that could be anything. That it's just ridiculous.
dominating the whole life of a person, and that's why for particularly this
Right, this is ridiculous. An issue for parents, for families. Okay, the problem is parents need to do more to stop this from happening. See, it's like I'm going to do a video on this because parents and gaming just it's get ridiculous. They're just ridiculous because they don't understand. They have their kids. They just sit them in front of a fucking console and expect it to raise them. I can't remember. I heard someone else say that, but it's true. It's like, but they don't understand it, and then they complain when they hear someone else say something about it. But you're the one who got them it in the first place. You should do your research. And this is what I'm saying here. This is a bit different, right? But they should limit your time. If they think it's an issue, then you should limit your time. You can't. It's basically giving them a way out of bad parenting because it's not an issue. It's not an issue if the parents can actually raise their kids and properly and restrict their time if they want to or whatever. Okay, I don't agree with that, but partly unless it's like digging into like school whatever bullshit. But it's just it's like it's not. It's like people have this blame against the game rather than the parents, and it's really stupid because it's actually the parents who should they could take the console away. They could whatever. They could turn it off. Whatever. They can like ground them. So why don't they do that? That would stop it in the first place. This is literally just giving them a way out. It's a like get out of jail free card
is an
basically.
issue for parents, for families. Be attentive to how much time, in what circumstances are being spent on gaming.
Okay,
To what
actually that is a
extent
fair point.
these gaming behaviors start to interfere.
Right. This is what is it's very broad. Other activities. What activities are we talking about? If it's like as bad as eating, sorry, Discord nods, like eating or something, that's bad, but it's just activities. What could that be? That could be another interest. It like, do you understand? It's like if you want to do something, you're gonna do it like you enjoy. You're gonna do the one you enjoy, not the one you find boring. It's
With other
ridiculous.
activities, with functioning at school, at university, with
Yeah, this bit I agree with, but this is where the parents should come in. Okay, because this is mainly talking about kids. Okay, obviously the thing is only children because look, the kids that are playing, they're just kids. There's no adults, right? So if it's at school, even university, you're still probably fucking England, you're still living with your parents, don't lie. You should, you should like the parents should restrict the time. It's up to them. This isn't a disorder. The parents can just need to take control. It's
functioning as a family
ridiculous.
member, as a friend, as a person with previous different interests. And in most
This previous different interest. Let's go back. What is that?
cases, durations activities
Fuck's sake,
with functioning at school, functioning as a family member, and as a person with
previous different interest. If you have an interest, as I've been saying, that is you find more interesting than the other, you're gonna do that more. This is just common sense. This isn't a disorder. This is just with anything. If you prefer golf, okay, no one could fucking prefer golf, but if you prefer golf to I don't know like football, do golf more. You're not gonna do something you don't enjoy.
previous
It's
different interests.
ridiculous. It's fucking
And
stupid.
in most cases, the duration of these consequences should be at least 12 months. I want to emphasize that a diagnosis
Okay, I understand that they're saying 12 months, which is actually fair enough, but that's just actually that is just fair, but it's just pointless. Like in that time, that's just a very long time to diagnose someone,
of
isn't it?
a gaming disorder can be only made by a health professional, specifically
Pardon me. So now they're training people to diagnose people with gaming disorder. Fuck me, what is this bullshit? I'm waiting on the fucking stamp collecting disorder and them trained professionals to diagnose people with that. I'm waiting on it. You
in
know it's
making
happening.
such assessment.
I feel like these questions, just parents. I feel, I just imagine it's just fucking like middle-aged mums just asking
People
this
who
bullshit.
are engaged regularly in gaming activities need to be aware that gaming activity may not only in some individuals lead to the development of gaming disorder, but also that it may have
Right.
some other negative consequences for health in terms of disturbing the sleep patterns.
Well, I'm not one to talk about sleep patterns, considering my sleep schedule is non-existent at the moment, but it's just like anything. If you are interested in something, I feel like this sleeping bullshit. Like everyone I know, my age, I'm 16. Everyone I know goes to bed at like fucking like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. But I don't think that's to do with gaming or anything. I think that's more to do with phones. But also, I think it's just this kind of like culture right now. It's like this is okay. You could do that. That's fine. I think they're saying that gaming can, yeah, but again, parents should be stopping them. But also, it's not just that. It's like this cultural kind of like this is okay to stop this. Like it's okay to do that. I haven't got a problem with it, but it's
In
bad for your
terms
health.
of
But
physical
fuck it.
activity, because normally gaming behavior is associated with very low level of physical activities. Also, in terms of the nutrition,
Yeah, I understand what he's saying. That's the exact reason they don't consider it sport.
it's been included as a result of a consensus of experts
You need an asterisk around experts.
who were
You need
involved
middle-aged
in
mums.
development of 11th revision of classification for mental and behavioral disorders. And the main reason for that is not only the scientific evidence available that this is becoming an issue, but also because of the demand for
Who the fuck? uh, Who? What? Who the fuck has ever requested treatment? Mainly because it's not considered a fucking disorder. If you go for treatment, it's probably just like for addiction.
treatment
It's not for a game.
and
It's so
demand for
fucking stupid.
recognition of this condition by health professionals when
what fucking health professionals? I've never ever seen the NHS say we need to create a disorder for gaming. It's becoming such
There
a. Have
could
you ever
be
seen that on the
more
BBC News?
research
No.
implemented when
What is
some
this?
preventive activities could be done, and when, in fact, attention to this type of behavior could be
I think, being honest, that this will just waste healthcare time because so many people could be diagnosed with it. Look at Fortnite. Okay, so many people could be diagnosed with this bullshit. How much treatment you gonna need? Okay, I'm gonna say this. This is more like depression. That sounds really bad, but hear me out. It's like to fix, to make you better, to remove this so-called, and air quotes right now, gaming disorder. You need kind of like count the equivalent of counselling. If that makes sense, because it's not like you could give you pills that will stop. If you understand what I'm saying, that counselling takes up more time than just normal healthcare, and it's often really hard to get onto it, especially when there's a fucking long waiting list for cams at the minute, and probably always will be. But it's just by the way, CAMS is just a mental health like counselling place, but with the NHS. So it's like this will just increase those times if they use it on the same field. I know there probably are ways around that, but I don't think this is really a good idea.
devoted
It's just a
in
waste of
terms of
time,
potential health
to
consequences.
be honest. So I could just I can just imagine we're gonna have fucking gaming rehab centers. Like it's there's just gonna be kids and they're just told not to play Fortnite. Like, tell your kids, you do not play Fortnite. You're not allowed out of this building for 2 weeks, and in that time, if you play Fortnite at all, even on your phone, you get kicked out. All right? We'll give you a few chances, but that's it. It's fucking stupid, man. I mean, I agree with what the World Health Organization does, and I think but sometimes I just think, what the fuck are you doing? Who thought about this decision? It clearly took some money, time, and effort. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, I agree with, like, they're really helpful. They, do lots of charity work and stuff. But I think so anyway. I assume so, considering it being a health organization. But this is just stupid. It's straight up like just this kind of older generation ignorance to technology and stuff. It's singling it out. It's not. It should be addiction to gaming. Okay, not a gaming disorder. It's an addiction. It's an addiction. It's the same with anything. If as I said before, there could be a disorder for gaming, then it should be a disorder for every hobby. Might be a little more dangerous, but wingsuit proximity flying isn't a disorder. But yet this isn't a disorder like that. Wingsuit proximity flight, anything like it's not a disorder, even though that is 20 times more dangerous, and you cannot even argue that. It's just, it's just stupid, and it's just singling out. And I really do question what they were thinking when they made this into a disorder.